I want to take a moment to discuss the differences between Facebook ads and Google ads, specifically for your Shopify business, and really for any kind of business that you plan on running ads to. There are some clear distinctions between the two, and it's important any kind of advertiser who decides to jump into these strategies to know this kind of stuff. So first thing, let's go ahead and create a deviation. Okay, we're going to have Google ads here, and we're going to have Facebook ads here. Now, the biggest question that most people want to probably know is, what's more profitable? And the answer lies in between your marketing. So I'll kind of explain to the best of my ability and as quickly as possible. Facebook ads runs off of mostly interruptive marketing strategies. Google runs mostly off of a need-based strategy. And let me go ahead and explain what I mean. We're going to go ahead and negate YouTube in this case for Google. Although Google does own YouTube, YouTube can have properties of both need, also known as search-based, okay, and really more of it's really referred to as discovery. But for the sake of brevity in this YouTube video, we're going to refer to it as need and search-based. And we're going to negate YouTube for this conversation because YouTube can encompass both interruptive and need-based ads. Without a doubt, though, Facebook is mostly, the overwhelming majority, is in interruptive-based marketing. So what does that really mean? Well, I want to go ahead and paint you a picture. Imagine you're scrolling on your phone. You're out for dinner, you're on Facebook or on Instagram, you begin scrolling, you're waiting for the check at your dinner table, and then boom, you're hit with an ad. You're hit with an ad from your favorite yoga clothing store, and you see that model, okay, that is wearing your favorite yoga set, and you see that it's on 40% off sale, and therefore you're interrupted from your scrolling. You click on the ad, you visit the website, and you decide to make a purchase. That is an example of interruptive ads because they're interrupting your current flow. They're stopping you where you stand. They're capturing your attention. This is the most important part, is that they're capturing your attention through the Facebook ad, and they're getting you to convert. Now, do all people convert? No, of course not. But the whole point here is that they're capturing your attention. That's the most important part you have to walk away with here. On Google, it's very much very, very different for the most part. At Google, people are performing a search, right? It all starts with that Google search. And from that Google search, they see ads in the search engine results. And then, of course, they see the organic results underneath, right? Position 1, position 2, position 3. Anybody who's in blogging understands, how to get into these position 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, but you see ads, and ads are not really interrupting your search. They're actually contributing to your search through a discovery-based platform. So you're discovering new opportunities because of your search. So it's quite different. Now, in the immediate cost, okay, the short term, Google tends to cost more because Google, in terms of the advertising system, is that Google works off of an auction-based economy, and it is primarily and solely auction. However, Facebook is also an auction-based economy, but it's not primarily and secondarily auction. It really works off of a rewards-based system. Let me go ahead and explain. So this is what makes the Facebook platform, or the Meta in this case, advertising, a little bit more intuitive. Whenever a user runs ads on Facebook, Facebook has to grab the audience network, okay? And the reason why I say the audience network, what that means is there are different networks on Facebook that have certain identities. So, for example, religion is a certain concept. And then within religion, you have different kinds of religion, right? You have Islam, you have Christianity, you have Judaism, you have Hinduism. You have the list of different religions, right? And each of these larger, you could say, networks have sub-networks, subdivisions. And this goes on for every single category in the Facebook field, right? It's not just one category. And the way that it works is that Facebook doesn't immediately know who exactly is right for the ad. So what happens is they have to go through a warm-up process. The user has to pay for the ads, and usually there isn't a conversion right away, meaning there isn't a lead to a customer optionality right away. It doesn't usually happen. What happens is that Facebook will over time find who ideally could represent the audience most that you're looking for. And they do this with trial and error through understanding suitability. That's why actually ads have an ad score. And you could see like a really good ad will perform very well and have a perfect score. And what will end up happening because of the reward-based system, the reward-based economy on Facebook, is that each ad will cost less to deliver. So instead of paying like $7.75 for a CPM, for example, you might drop down to $2.35, right? And it could actually be a factor of 3x, less than what you would have normally paid because of this reward-based system. The better the ad is, the more it will be seen by more people, and the cheaper it will cost per 1,000 impressions, CPM, and the better it will be for the cost per click as well, or CPA, CPC, cost per action, CPC, whatever. In this case, Google is slightly different. Because it's only an auction-based economy, Google doesn't actually reward you if the ad is performing better or not better. What they really care about the most in terms of Google, once again, we're not talking about YouTube because YouTube has a slightly different infrastructure, even though it's under the same umbrella. Google has a system to where you're paying solely for the attentive click. You're paying solely for the search. You're not interrupting anybody. You're not focused on convincing anybody anything, or they're not on your side if you do convince somebody. They're solely just delivering you the service of getting seen. And that works on an economy of needs. So in terms of the auction, how does it work? Let's say I want to go ahead and bid on the keyword GLP-1, which is kind of like Ozempic, semaglutide, basically these like weight loss type of drugs, right? If I'm going to run a cost per click campaign on GLP-1, I might have to spend $16 per click, okay? And what ends up happening is the reason why I'm paying that cost is because over time, in the existence of this keyword, advertisers see that, hey, someone else is paying $1.50 for this click. Let me go ahead and pay $2. And then over time, that $2, somebody else is willing to pay $2.50 per click, and so on and so forth. And this number goes higher and higher and higher based on the demands of the culture and of the need of the audience of the world at that point in time, because you're competing with all people around the world depending on who you want to serve that ad to. And it drives up the price, right, if there is a constant need or demand, to the point where whether the ad actually ends up receiving results or not, or the audience actually, kind of reacts positively to the ad or not, it's still going to cost what it costs. In fact, it would only cost more over time because people are competing more for that ad. If you have a great ad, but you're not paying as much, it doesn't matter. Google's not going to serve the ad. Okay, so that is the main difference between both Facebook and Google. Now, the question is, what's better? Well, it simply depends on your marketing strategy. And in my notion, for most beginners, okay, because I always focus on the beginners because I help beginners make zero money all the way from starting at zero money all the way to make thousands of dollars a month, is most beginners should go to Google. And you might ask me why. Well, the truth is that most beginners don't understand the concept of what we call magic. And people who are in my copywriting campus in passive income school, they understand what magic is and they know what magic is. But most people who are regular viewers on my YouTube channel, they don't understand what it is. But magic is the ability of literal financial alchemy. You can turn somebody in front of you into money. How do you turn them into money? How do you convert them into a customer? Most people don't understand how to do that. And rightfully so, because most of the people in the world are not entrepreneurs, they're not rich, they're not successful in that kind of way. They might be successful in many other areas, but they don't actually know how to do this. And we have this concept called copywriting. And copywriting is the ability to cast spells, to essentially charm someone into buying your product. That's why it's called charming or casting spells, right? And that's why we call it magic, to convert somebody, to have alchemy, to convert them from a viewer to income. And there's nothing evil about this. There's nothing hocus pocus about this, but it does take a concept of understanding to be able to make this happen. Whether it happens on Google, whether it happens on Facebook, it does take a certain level of understanding, and more importantly, understanding what that person needs to be able to provide it to them. 9 times out of 10, when people need money, they take the approach where as if somebody's willing to give them money as if it's some sort of charity. So most people who are running a business for the very first time, they'll start DMing people and they'll say, hey, I have this service, please buy it from me. Now, they might not exactly say it in that way, but that's how the reader is taking it. And the reality of the world is that most people are not in the business of charity. Most people don't care about helping the poor. And that's why we have billions of poor people in this world today. So the reality is that most people are not charitable and they're not willing to help. And they're not going to just buy your service because you asked. So that's why Google is actually more optimized for the beginner, because although it is more expensive, okay, it can directly serve a need more. As opposed to Facebook, we have to get over the hump of interruption. We have to first interrupt them. It's kind of like, imagine in the dating sphere. Imagine you're out in the field, you're out in the world, and you're a young lady, and you're at a coffee shop. You're at your favorite coffee shop on a Saturday morning, and you're alone, but you're getting your coffee, and you order the perfect coffee, and you plan on taking a book out and going to the beach and reading that book. You have no interest in people. You have no interest in getting stopped or talking to some guy who's trying to talk you up. But let's say some really, really ugly, smelly, nasty-looking guy comes up to you, and he asks you out on a date. You're going to look at him like he's an ogre, and you're going to tell him no thank you, and you might politely smile and walk away. Now, imagine if Prince Charming approached you as a woman, and he's everything you wanted him to be. Well, of course, you're going to smile, and you might even take him up on his offer. You might be curious. His charm might have worked on you, and you might actually take him up on his offer. And that's what Facebook ads are. Most beginners are the ugly ogre, the smelly, ugly ogre who are unattractive. Facebook is designed for the princes, and they're able to convince and charm people into essentially taking their money. But Google is not like that. Google is purely wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It is, we have an agreement on something. I have the product. You have the need. Let's go ahead and convert. So, for example, if somebody's searching for cheap Ozempic peptide, right, and they search that and your ad happens to pop up, well, there's not much convincing that has to be done. As long as it's cheap, as long as it's Ozempic and it's the peptide, they're going to purchase. But in the case of Facebook, you have to convince someone, why would somebody even want Ozempic in the first place? You have to convince them the life that they would have had, etc. You have to do the charming, the magic. So that's the main difference between Facebook ads and Google ads and what is better. If you want to learn more about making money online, click the link in the description. I have a nice presentation for you to watch, and it might change the way that you look at making money online. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching, and peace out. Bye.